Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ultimate Fantasy Locker Room. How you guys doing?
It's a Tuesday, man.
Yeah. It's been a rough day for him.
It's a Tuesday.
You came in cursing.
Yeah, I care.
Yeah. Hey, but the weekend's looking good for me, though.
Yeah, no.
What's going on?
Put it all on red, maybe, in Vegas this weekend.
Yeah.
You going to Vegas?
Yes, sir, I am. Bachelor's trip.
Oh, wow.
Have you been to Vegas?
I've been to Vegas twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Anton, how about you? Have you been to Vegas?
I went on my honeymoon.
Really?
Oh, nice.
So you got any advice for
Yeah.
young Zach? It's his first trip.
Young buck like me.
Just stay on a budget, man. Stay on a budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, I was told to just bring cash.
Yeah.
Don't bring the card.
Yeah. That's
Or
good.
just,
Be good.
just spend the money.
Oh, that's good advice, Bill.
Just,
How much do you
when are you going to go back?
Have you lost a lot in Vegas?
No, when I went, I was broke, so
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot to lose.
Yeah. That's fair. I don't like to my issue with gambling is I'm cheap. Like seriously. So like I lose $20, I'm like crying. Yeah, it's bad.
I'm prepared to lose.
Cheap? I don't know if cheap. It's relative. I mean,
Yeah, no, but like $20, I feel that.
you feel $20 still?
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Okay. Big Worm?
What movie is that from?
That's from Friday. Big Worm.
Okay.
Oh, man.
All right. Anyways, but Anton, how was your week? What are you up to, man?
It was actually a good week. Very quiet. Still cold up here in Delaware, right outside the wall. While I'm standing by the dumpster today, and it's still 30 degrees up here. So nothing new. I heard spring is on the way, but haven't seen it yet.
Yep. Dumpster fires are a good thing up there.
Yeah.
It seems.
So
Well, that's all very interesting. Anything new with you, Rocky?
no, you know what I did though? I did try Portillo's yesterday.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, I did.
How'd you like it?
It was good.
The one over there right next to the White Castle?
Yeah. I'm trying to eat, a little bit more like low carb, so I had to take the bread and not eat the bread.
Just all meat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was
They're slinging dogs.
Foot long?
No, it was a 6-inch. I'm trying to behave a little bit, but it was the Italian beef, but it was surrounded by it had an Italian sausage.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're doubling down.
double
Double
DP,
down,
double
yeah.
pen,
Yeah.
double
Yeah.
meat.
Nice. Nice.
It was pretty good. I got to
disgusting.
say, it would have been better with bread,
Yeah.
but it was pretty good. Have you tried Portillo's?
Can't say I have.
The Portillo's is pretty good, but typically when I go, I don't like to eat mine raw like that. I like to have the one.
Anton, have you tried Portillo's?
I have not.
They're
a pretty
Chicago-based.
good, yeah, a pretty good chain.
I don't think
Nice.
there's a lot of them around here, though.
No,
there's
the only
not.
one I think in Florida.
Yeah. Sponsor us, Portillo's. Hey, speaking of real quick, thank you to everybody that got in arguments with Rocky on TikTok recently.
Yeah.
You had a few pretty bold statements on there.
I did.
If you haven't seen them, check them out.
Fate favors the bold. I will say, hey, I'm going to give it to you guys. And Phil brought this up.
What did I say?
The composite average for Malik wasn't a 5, but there were services that rated him a 5.
Yeah.
Especially after his senior.
And you just chose to
senior
single
games.
out that one service that said that.
Well, there was actually several services, and I do tend to gravitate towards some services over other services.
Especially when it
It favors my
what you're
argument.
your argument.
Yeah.
100%.
My defense, all I said was that I think his value is going to jump up after his pro day.
Yeah, you were thrown in there at the end there.
Yeah. And I think we're going to talk about that a little bit more in our
Pressing issues. What's the issue? If there's issues, we're gonna press them.
Yeah, come on, not bad. I mean, it's an evolution here.
That's a progress. You even
It's
cut
not.
yourself
It wasn't
off.
perfect,
it was
but I
better.
respect what you were trying to do.
It's better, you know.
Well,
better.
It's
It's good to know that he cuts himself off too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that's
just
nice.
us, yeah.
I think that there's a well-placed cutoff is sometimes good.
Sometimes.
It's like the art of a well-placed curse word.
Sure.
You curse all the time, like
or
Mark.
like when you're having sex, like well placed, dirty word.
Well,
goes
it's
a
like-
long way. It's
It's like Mark.
personally.
Mark curses so much that it's like it doesn't mean anything.
It's overkill. Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like when Mark says, GD or F, it doesn't matter. I've heard it.
Yeah,
that's true. Speaking of, I don't know if the viewers can see this board as clearly as we can, but we actually traded Mark away. That's why he's not here.
Yeah, we did trade Mark.
We sent Mark to ESPN.
Yes.
We're getting a few things in return. We're getting half of Dan Orlovsky's talent.
I mean, we're that's a steal.
Yeah,
Dan Orlovsky.
He played in the
talent.
NFL. I mean, I would trade Mark for his foot.
I like how you pluralize Kevin Connors too.
Yeah, I tried to
me?
do
Is that
it.
for me? Yeah,
it was for you. Yeah.
I appreciate
Big Ben
that.
poster
sending
goes
our
with Mark.
We're sending
I
our
like
Big
that
Ben.
too.
Big Ben and Mark, they're very similar in many traits.
I don't understand why we have a Big Ben poster up.
He
by the
put
way.
it up.
I know
Okay.
it's very random.
It's
Well-
disrespect for me because
And it's right next to your brown stuff.
Disrespect. So.
Well, to put a little clarity into that, my dad turned my old room when I moved out into like a little man cave, and he just goes to thrift stores and buys as much NFL things as he can.
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
So I grabbed all the Philly things that he's acquired, and then I also
Grab Big Ben.
he
Big
didn't
Benji.
want the he
didn't
bought that
want
Big
Big
Ben
Ben.
poster for like $1, and he's like, that was probably too much money. Do you want this? So
Yeah.
And now he's
some
here.
things. Yeah, now he's next to Rocky, watching over him like a guardian angel.
Now, there we go. So, okay, our first topic, we're going to talk about the NFL Combine, and I have some strong feelings about it.
Well, why don't you spit it?
Yes.
Spit it out.
The first topic is
I have none.
is it time to say goodbye to the NFL Combine? And the second topic is, if it isn't, are there new competitions, new events that we want to see added to the Combine? So, Anton, what do you think? Is it time to say goodbye to the Combine?
I absolutely think it's time. If we don't say goodbye to it, I think it's time to revamp the whole thing. And here's why I say that. In the old days, right, scouts had to get around the teams and physically see them. They had to get around the teams and grab tape. They had to get around the team to be able to see these players in action. They've seen film. They watch these players. They start evaluating players, by the time they step on campus, right? So if you have a scout that's coming in to look at a senior, he's not going to ignore the junior, the sophomore, the freshman that's there that's impressive. So they see these people for years, literally. They study them for years. They can see the tape. They can see everything they need to see. It doesn't really make sense for me for them to come back to Indianapolis, other than just tradition, to see them one more time. After the season, a lot of these guys don't even play in bowl games. I'm not sure much is going to change between the season and the combine. That's going to change their status. That's going to change their ability to play the game.
That's a good point.
So, Anton, when you went to the Combine, did you take part in all of the drills?
Absolutely. Did everything. Did everything I was asked to do. Interviews included.
That was the expectation.
Right.
Okay, so that's my issue is like you had basically most of the people ran the 40.
Yeah.
Unless they were hurt. Some of them did the bench press, but a lot didn't. But it was like they kind of like a bunch didn't do this, a bunch did this, some didn't do that. Like it was just kind of up, basically most of the of the show, it was a guy going up to a mic and saying, I won't be benching, I'll be benching at my pro day.
Yeah.
It just got old.
It makes it less significant for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure Lamar didn't run the 40, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that can play to a player's strength. Maybe if he is trying to make a point of I'm a quarterback and not a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, you have some quarterbacks are just choosing not to throw either and maybe saving it for another day or just not doing it at all to maybe save injury. We've seen people get hurt in the 40s trying to impress maybe a little too hard or trying to do what they can. It's tough because there's too many factors to the combine that can make someone say, well, maybe I just shouldn't do this at all.
Well, I mean, I don't really care. I mean,
you don't care.
No, I don't. I mean, I'll say this: I don't want him to get rid of it. I mean, there's nothing to watch right now. It's nice to have something to watch. I mean, it's not. I don't get hung up on the guy if he doesn't want to bench press it. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I still got the other guys I could watch because there's nothing going on. So
you like watching guys bench press?
No, I like watching guys run, bench press. There's a lot of stuff to watch.
Yeah.
So. I mean, when it comes to the combine, it's just it's filler. Let's not get rid of it. It's perfect where it is before the tournament starts. I mean,
Okay.
So you're saying
leave
it's
well
good.
enough alone. Yeah, I mean,
well, and this
I
was
don't
an
care.
interesting one because it was a record number of wide receivers ran a sub 4.4 40-yard dash.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
fast group this year.
Well, and it was a fast track just in general.
it's always fun.
Yeah, and so
Seen like a 350-pound guy run like a 4.8 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
crazy.
Yes,
That was-
4.78.
And that's where the
That's crazy.
combine is good because it does promote or increase draft stock for certain players.
It's just another event as well. I mean,
Anton, do you remember what your 40-yard dash was?
5.8.
At Pro Day I ran a 4.85.
Oh, nice.
At the combine, I actually ran a 4.99.
Okay.
So,
that hurts.
It was actually a different field. We did go to Indianapolis, but it wasn't Lucas Oil Field at that time. And obviously, the track makes all the difference, right? When we went, in my opinion, it wasn't great, but I was still fairly fast for my size.
Yes.
What did you weigh in at the combine?
I think 335.
I can't. Yeah.
That's the fastest I ever ran. Like in high school, was a 4.8.
Did you ever do a 40?
I don't even remember if I did.
Yeah.
No, probably not. I'm not the quickest guy. I'm not the slowest guy. I'm probably pretty mid when it comes to the speed.
I remember, and I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay.
Especially,
I've seen you shuffling down the field.
Hey, well, apparently,
I could guess.
to a lot of people, the greatest of all time, they say, didn't run a good 40, Rocky.
Oh, let's not talk about
Mr.
that.
Thomas.
So, yeah.
So let me add a couple more things. I just want to touch on this one more time, and I kind of agree with Phil. I don't know. It's good to have something to look at this time of year, right?
Yeah.
But in all reality, the way things used to be, and in the one case I would say is a strong case for is interviewing players, right? Because if scouts do go to teams during the season, maybe there's a rule that I don't know about, that they can't actually talk to the player, interview the player, get to know the player. But as far as their ability and as far as their football ability and competitiveness and things like that, that's already established. If you've got to have the combine to make sure, then you haven't done your job. You don't know what you're really getting. And I'm not really for players who say, I'll do it this time, but I won't do it that time. You got to remember, the NFL is still the employer, right? And they still get a right to decide if they want you. Now, if you're the first-round pick, if you're Joe Burrow, if you're Peyton Manning, if you're Eli, I get it, right? I get why bother. There's no point. But for a lot of these guys, you're getting invited because they want to get another good look.
Yeah, you got to prove yourself still.
And I think it's good for people to go ahead and participate. I feel like it's really more manipulated by the agent for fear that the player may have a bad time. And then on the NFL side, if you've got a guy that's consistent 4.3 and he comes there and he runs a 4.4, I don't think you should dock him. But honestly, that's probably the nature of the game, and that's why people don't do it.
Yeah.
So what I'm sure you have some ideas since you have the.
Well, real quick, just to add to that point, because I agree with you, and so like Malik, we've been talking a lot about him. I made some bold predictions, and I agree with you. Like these scouts, they've seen everything there is to see. If they're interested in Malik, they've seen it. Like I have watched six complete games, 6 Liberty games this year, because I'm interested in this guy and I'm just trying to figure out what he is. So most of the scouts, again, but what they're seeing now is they're seeing, well, how's he doing under intense pressure of every scout looking at him? They're asking him to come up to a board and diagnose a defense. They're getting all these things, and it's just a different situation. And I think that's kind of the strength of the combine.
Yeah.
But, and this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, kind of, but let's talk about events we'd like to see them at.
Well, do you have any?
Well, I have one.
I think I have.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Well, here's the first one I want to add. I'm tired of the 40-yard dash when they're well rested. Mm-hmm. I want them to play 3 quarters and then run a 40, because that's what I want to see.
Let me just pile on that.
Yeah.
Like maybe, you always hear about game speed. Let's just get some guys with pads out there chasing down the 40 yards and see how.
I want to see a wild boar chasing
anything like that. But maybe you want to see some game speed, how these guys are going to run when they're being chased.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't think about.
I'd like that. I mean,
it's got something.
You could do some character stuff, like maybe put these guys in a situation like
Okay, I
You got some actors. Bar. Is this guy going to get in a fight?
Okay, I want to see.
Somebody just called you ugly at the bar.
Yeah. No, I want to see.
Kamara, what do you do?
You get them all drunk. You lock them in a bar.
Yeah.
And you put them in situations.
Put them in a strip club.
That's terrible.
Well, but I mean, like, these are the things I'm really concerned about.
But these are the things that pop up when
I guess you have no film on that either.
Yeah.
So
give them a phone. See if they bet on some games. I don't know.
What do you got?
I had a more serious one, but I don't want to go anymore. No. So I don't know if they still do this or not because I don't watch the combine maybe as heavily as like you would or something like that.
Yeah, you have a life.
Do they still kind of weather test athletes? Do they like make the ball like slippery?
They do.
Okay, because that was something that I think has like some legitimacy to it. Yeah, because you have these like college kids that play maybe on West Coast and they might get drafted by like Buffalo or something. So
can you do something to see how clutch a player is?
I don't know. How do you create a situation where they're clutch?
I mean, you could probably simulate game time, but that's really nothing different than them just running the route themselves. Because that's all.
You'd have to have some stakes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if you can, but I mean, tongue in cheek, we probably could.
Yeah.
Do you think if you put prize money at the end of combine events, they would maybe do
that'd be nice. They'll never do that, but maybe they would, and that'd probably be awesome.
Yeah. Anton, you got anything you'd like to see in the ad? We're being a little tongue in cheek.
I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and what I'm thinking is every time I hear you think about a competition, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to get these guys hurt, right?
Yeah.
And so, that would be the main thing. And so I still rest on you do want to be able to interview them, see what they can do. I like the idea of putting them through some type of competition. I'm not afraid of one-on-ones with receivers and DBs. Not sure how much you can do with linebackers, except maybe see them cover, things like that. So about that. See them cover, things like that. But, I mean, it's I'm okay just making it a lot more subtle than it is. I think what we're measuring doesn't really matter at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, so we want to move to our next one. I think some big news today.
It's a lot of big news, actually.
Yeah. Russell Wilson is no longer in Seattle, and
this is a big deal, man.
Yeah.
You want to talk about? I mean, Rodgers told the Packers to give me the loot.
He did, and
he got the loot.
Yeah, but have you guys seen though that it's been reported that's a $200 million contract, right? But Rodgers has come out himself, and I'm pretty sure on that Pat McAfee show as well, saying like it's false.
Yeah, but
that he'll be back, but
I don't believe that.
We got to see it though. I mean, at least.
Okay, I mean they're already saying 4 years, $200 million.
He's back though. 100% because they tagged Adams.
I seen that Adam Schefter said it was 200.
and they're saying 148 guaranteed. So like to know so many details, I feel like
this says a lot though. I think this says for Aaron Rodgers that how do you kind of say no to that money if you get it, and then two, I think maybe he knows deep down that he's probably not going to win another championship because one, it makes the team a lot harder to be strong around you, and two, like you've got your money, like.
Yeah,
your money.
I mean, I look at it like, honestly, it's not really interesting. The Rodgers part is not interesting. I mean, he's staying, so it's kind of like business as usual. What's more interesting to me is Wilson.
Well, that means that Denver wanted Rodgers too because the news broke.
Oh yeah, they were waiting.
Yeah.
But I think with Wilson, not so much how it affects the AFC West because I think that's tough. I don't know if I love, his chances there, but they have a good young team, and he's a great quarterback. But I like to look at how it affects the NFC West, and it kind of leaves San Francisco like in the driver's seat of that division. And what do? Does this make them more aggressive to get a quarterback? Do they wait on Lance? Do they keep Garoppolo because they have a clear path to win that division now? I mean, Arizona was good last year, but they fell apart.
But they got there even with Garoppolo. Now they've got a clearer road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what to me, that's interesting. What happens in that division?
What do you guys, Anton? Did you hear what Denver gave up for Wilson?
It wasn't. I don't know. Have you seen anything? Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to answer for him.
So was my understanding they got Drew Lock, they got tight end Noah Fant, they got a defensive tackle Shelby.
See, when I was watching it, it hadn't been confirmed. So I seen that they got 2 first rounders.
Yeah, 2 first, 2 seconds.
Okay.
A tight end, a quarterback, and a defensive tackle. and Denver got Russell Wilson and a 5th-round pick.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
Shelby Harris.
A lot. But you know what? You got to look at the way things are going with quarterbacks these days. 33 is not what it was 10 years ago, right? So, you're looking at a guy that's kind of in his prime still.
Yes.
And
probably played
I think that prime window is extended now to late 30s for quarterbacks. So,
especially with Wilson keeping, good care of his body.
And he's a character guy. We talked about it. There's absolutely no questions about Wilson. He's never done anything but make you feel like.
And let's not kid ourselves. Elway has been chasing a quarterback since he's been there, and he's been terrible.
Yeah.
Everything he's done has not worked out. Free agent, draft.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of their GM that they hired last year, but they said they were going to kind of swing big.
Yeah.
And, I guess it was Rodgers or Wilson, and they get Wilson.
Yeah, Anton, how do you feel about that? Do you think Russell Wilson in Denver makes sense?
It's funny how sometimes you can take a guy like that and change the environment, and all of a sudden he looks like a totally different player. So I'm excited about that because I believe that Elway will tell them, hey, let him be the quarterback he wants to be. I don't know if he had any kind of issues in Seattle, but I'm excited about that one. I think that's a really good move.
Yeah, you always say let Russell cook.
He's cooking.
Now he's got, I think, two number one,
Sutton.
Yeah, 2 number 1 receivers and a really good number 2.
And he's gonna be cooking edibles.
Yeah, he's got 2 running backs. Because I think now Melvin Gordon comes back.
Melvin Gordon wanted, before this report and this trade happened, Melvin Gordon was adamant and saying that he wants to
come back.
win a championship in Denver.
You got Javonte Williams.
Yeah, Williams.
They
got a nice little core there, but
great defense. Vaughn, I don't know if you saw, but
wants
Vaughn
to apparently come back. He's floating the idea.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just a lot of, like, I almost feel like Vaughn knew this was happening when he dropped the hint of should I choose 58 or 40 as 2 numbers that he played in Denver with. And he also dropped the altitude of Mile High Stadium.
But of course, of all divisions, of course it's the AFC West. It's going to be very hard for this Denver team.
Well, that's the top quarterback division now. I mean,
100%.
But don't you guys feel like, to me, Russell Wilson is Mahomes without the mistakes? I just feel like he's faster. He's got a strong arm.
Yeah.
He's got to prove himself to me a little bit. Yeah,
he fell off a little bit the last year. I'm saying he's still a good quarterback, but he's not what he was 4 years ago, and I don't know if that's a symptom of Seattle.
It's really hard to tell. I was going to say that too.
He hasn't had a running back until this past year at the end of last year when he had Rashard Penny.
And, I mean, Pete Carroll has just been collecting dust over there. Yeah.
But he's also had, he's had Metcalf out there. He's had the little guy that I'm forgetting his name.
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, Lockett. I don't know. We'll see. I think a lot of his game is predicated on him breaking the pocket and extending plays, and he had a couple years there where he was banged up, and he doesn't move the same as he used to. So, he's a great passer, but we've seen him have lulls. That's the thing. We've seen him look great first half of seasons. Second half of season, go into a little bit of a lull and stuff drops off. So I don't know. I mean, he's going against Mahomes, who's probably, one or two, and then Herbert, who's.
Yeah. So and I'm putting you guys on the spot. Anton, I want you to kind of think about this too. Today, as it sits, if there's no other changes, who finishes first, second, third? Give me that division.
All right, we got to do this quick because we got a hard break coming in. I'll just go off the top of my head. I'll go Chargers.
Sign Mike Williams today.
Yeah, resign. Big contract.
Chargers, Chiefs, Denver, Broncos, Raiders.
Okay. How about Anton? What do you think?
Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders.
Okay,
Broncos,
you got Denver
fourth.
going last.
Yeah, I might have to go with Phil. I'll go. Well, give me the. Fuck. I'll take Chargers. I'll go Chiefs because it's safe, and then I'll take. I actually like Raiders, Broncos. I'll go with Anton.
Okay, so I am the only one. I guess I'm on an island. I'm going to go Broncos
to win the division.
Yeah, I think this is enough of a stretch, and I think the Broncos, top to bottom, have the best defense of any of the teams in that division. Chargers are close.
Yeah.
But I think, and I of course, we're saying as of today, but I'm going to go Broncos. I'm going to go Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs. The Chiefs are showing chinks in the armor.
Yeah,
that's fair. And you think that something's going to happen with?
I think he's
Tyreek.
I think he's
Hill.
coming back. I don't like their running backs.
The Raiders are interesting too with McDaniels there. So I mean,
it's just a lot.
It's a
unknown.
tough division.
It is tough. I mean, any one of those teams could win it. The Raiders would be hard because of the new head coach. I don't know. McDaniels just seems like slippery to me. I don't really. It's not my favorite hire.
That's fair. You're right. New coach, it is hard to tell.
Yeah.
S of the week.
That guy's an asshole.
All right. So who wants to announce? And this is a tough one for me. I got to be honest because I don't feel good about it. I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What do you like about him?
I don't know. Prior to yesterday, I always thought he was a pretty, upstanding guy. But
I think. What do you think, Phil? Well, who are we talking about first?
We're talking about Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. He bet $1,500 and lost $10 million.
Yeah, biggest gamble of all time.
Biggest gamble of all time, and got suspended for a year.
At least.
At
they're
least
saying.
a year.
Yeah, it's insane to me. When I saw that report, like it really blew my mind because one, he took the entire year off last year for mental health reasons, which kind of made me feel for the guy because I feel like you don't really see that a whole lot, or at least it's not in the news a whole lot. So
what I'm wondering if that affected, did that affect his decision making?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It was only 15.
No, he was tweeting about it yesterday.
Wait. You mean this can't be CTE?
No, it's not CT. This is what happened. This is a guy that he tweeted out. He was away from the team. He thought he could gamble for some reason. So he's stupid. But I listen, when I said yesterday, I don't hate it that listen, I gamble. He could gamble on the thing that's stupid about it is just gamble on baseball or basketball or hockey or boxing or UFC or anything else. But
and then he doubled down.
I do think he's ahead of the curve.
But he doubled down and said, I bet on the Falcons.
But he bet on them to win.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it better.
I think it does, though. I mean, it's still wrong, but whatever. I'm saying in front of a judge, there's a difference between betting against your team
especially
and betting for them to win.
Especially after you quit.
If you did bet on them to lose. Now you're being insensitive. But I don't know. Yeah, he did quit. He was away from the team, whatever. Stupid mistake, but I told Zach, I said, I'm drafting him on every team in fantasy next year. You can be the last guy on my bench.
As a protest.
Just as a protest, because I think eventually there's such a marriage between that world now and professional sports. This is going to happen more often, I think. And if it's not happening with a guy's name to it, he's going to be betting through, somebody, his friend, or using somebody. All it would have taken is for him to use his cousin and bet under his name, sign into DraftKings that way, and he can bet. So there's got to be, I think eventually there's got to be a way for them to integrate this in a way that doesn't affect the game and doesn't have people questioning it. So that's what I meant when I said he's ahead of the curve. But I like the fact that he just quit halfway through the year and
not
was
even
home
halfway,
betting parlays on the NFL games. I mean,
Anton, I want to know.
He's like me.
Talk about kind of when you came in the NFL, and I'm sure it's gotten even more communicative.
Yeah, it has to be.
But did you feel like you knew what you could and couldn't do?
Yeah, it's pretty clear. I mean, I remember. You got to remember, I started out in Philadelphia. I mean, Atlantic City is an hour and a half away, maybe an hour from my house.
Love Atlantic City.
And I felt guilty just going to Atlantic City. Not, for roulette. I felt like, man, maybe I'm doing something wrong here, but I think
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, look, right? You just know. There are certain things you just can't do. You have to maintain the integrity of the sport, whether you're betting for or against your team. Everybody knows. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, everybody knows Pete Rose, and he still is not in the Hall of Fame because of it, which I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But the reality is, there's just some things you just can't do, and they are still the employer. You got to abide by those rules.
Yeah, and the argument that I hate the argument that, well, Ray Rice hit his girlfriend.
I have that pulled up right now.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that.
You know, and this person did this. Listen, it's not an either or. Like, you have to take each, and yes, should Ray Rice maybe have been suspended longer? Yes. It doesn't mean that Kelvin shouldn't have been suspended for this. This is like you're gambling on your sport, on
it's like insider trading.
Yeah, well, on your team.
The Ray Rice thing, it's semantics because it was a mistake. They suspended it for 2 games, but they effectively did what he never played again. So you got what you wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Right, and then he overcorrected with Adrian Peterson, you know, with the stuff with his son, and they suspended him, put him on the exempt list the whole year. Right, you know, they're trying to figure it out. I mean, we give them a lot of grief. I think it's tough with these things. I think a year is appropriate. All kidding aside, and I think that, like Tone said, you know that you can't gamble. I think his mistake, he's just stupid.
Yeah.
And convinced himself because he wasn't with the team and wasn't actively playing.
You thought he could play the gray area.
He could play there's a gray area there because he's not with the team.
Yeah.
But you got to know you're still active because you're on a leave. So he gets money, but it's stupid that he did it.
That was my thing. That's
still
why
drafting him though.
There you go. Well, for me, it's like this is why I'm kind of like piggybacking on both sides because like it was only $1,500 and like Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill like physically hurt people and don't get suspended for the whole year. But then I think to myself like, damn. Why? How did you get caught? You know, like maybe that's why you're the ass of the week because
you got caught.
Well, because he used his name.
Figure it out a different way if you're gonna do it. Like that's pretty stupid of you to.
It's kind of like they had to do it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You forced our hand.
I mean, you know, you went under the handle Kelvin Ridley, Atlanta Falcons
or like
number.
Yeah. I mean, or better yet, like this is not Calvin Ridley.
He probably linked it with his like Facebook
verified account. I mean, like they had no choice. And the thing that drives me crazy is like you do have to take each situation as an individual situation. Like the biggest one, and it's not because I'm a Browns fan. It's
here we go.
It's the Myles Garrett situation. Listen, and I think Anton will back me up here.
Always bring us home.
Mason said something.
Oh, here we go.
He said something like there's something. There's something.
Yeah, but when you say something, are you insinuating that it was racial?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
But you can't just say that he had to say that.
He took a guy.
You got to take him saying that he didn't, and take Garrett saying that he did, and it's half and half.
Should that be should that be a combine event?
Well, here's the deal. Myles never. He was an upstanding citizen.
You don't know Myles though.
I do.
You don't really know him. Though.
Okay.
And then he does that something. Listen.
Dang.
You know, come on.
I get what you're saying, but
each situation has to be taken.
Though.
I think for the fact that he only got 6 games, they knew there was more to the situation.
It sucks for Calvin though for taking a year off for who really knows why, and then having another year off. Like do you come back the same? Maybe I can ask Anton this. Like, do you come back the same player theoretically if you were out 2 years for different things? Does that affect how you come back, your performance, your mental state?
I think it depends on the athlete. You know, I think at his age, if he was PO, yes, he comes back. You know what I mean? Some players can, some players cannot. It depends on what state they're in physically, how well they stay in shape, how hard they work. You know, because just because he's out doesn't mean he sits at home on the couch. He should be still working out. And so it's really not a drop off. In fact, some guys come back better because they're taking the time to actually heal their bodies up.
That's true.
The only other thing I'll say is that I think the reason they have to be so harsh on it because it affects so many other things. It could implicate other teams. If he's betting on one team, like if he bets on the Falcons 1 week, he kind of has to bet on them every week to win. Because then even if he doesn't bet against them the following week, and he just doesn't bet on them, it implicates that he knows something is going on with them.
Yeah,
so it throws a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
In the mix, and I think that's why they had to cut it off. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that he did. I think it's one of the stupidest things I've seen, having his name attached to it. And I think, like you said, they kind of forced the NFL's hand because you just can't have the integrity questioned at all. You can't even have like a drop of it because then it sullies the whole thing.
You have to be above reproach.
His username was definitely like Matt Ryan rules, like 1040 or something.
You know, it's funny we're having this conversation, but every year towards the playoffs, we talk about how the NFL is rigged.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
It just sucks for a team that, and maybe this is a great segue. The team, like the Eagles, almost there is rumor that we were gonna get that, and he's a great player. He's a good wide receiver.
The Browns had a 2nd-round pick on the table for him. I know for a fact.
Well, is this before you go there? I mean, is this a culture thing with Atlanta? I mean, you had Michael Vick there beating the dogs up, and now you got Calvin Ridley.
That's a low blow. Man. That's a low blow, man. That is a low blow. I like the guy, man. The guy.
No, I like him too. I like Michael Vick. I'm saying maybe there's a culture problem in Atlanta.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's really pulling the strings back there.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the good side here.
Then I can make that argument in the Texans. I can make that argument with the Browns.
Let them know. Let them know, Anton.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah, what? Oh, I like Mike Vick.
You made Anton stand up.
I like Mike Vick. Even though he was hold on.
Stand up.
He can stand up all he wants. I like Mike Vick. I was just making a joke that maybe Atlanta has a culture problem.
Don't backpedal, Phil.
I'm not backpedaling.
Rare backpedal.
Speaking of Atlanta.
I mean, he did what he did.
Wait, the
just blew my mind.
Oh, no.
God, you're so stupid.
That was awesome. That was awful.
It was awesome.
So I think what happened is I actually
recorded over class.
You wrote over class of the week. Yeah. All right. Well, now class of the week.
Yeah, class of the week. What are we talking about? Class of the week. Phil?
Atlanta.
So
you were to flip it.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I'm just making a joke.
You were killing their culture, and we're saying that they're actually
Arthur
classy,
Blank, bad guy,
classy team. And why do we think they're?
So this is pretty cool because you see the player do this, and it's portrayed as something ass of the week worthy, but then we see the team do something that's class of the week worthy, where the team had some whereabouts of this information that he could get suspended potentially, and they weren't listening to trade offers for him out of quote unquote good faith.
Yeah.
So for a team like the Eagles that was wanting, or at least was rumored to trade for Calvin Ridley, give us a great number 2, potentially number 1, they weren't even we're not going to screw you over and trade for this player that might not even play next year. So honestly, kudos, because I feel like I wouldn't do that if I was a team.
Bad business, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that they could have done it, and not only did they not do it, but they didn't even let the cat out of the bag because they had to know.
That's also true.
That this was brewing. So
if he did it in November, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You found him from his phone. I think they knew.
Yeah, something.
But I almost wonder if he wanted to come back last season. And Atlanta knew and
possible.
said, "Hey, you can't come back until you know what's going on with
Didn't think about that at all. Yeah.
So,
kudos to them, because that's, I don't know. Part of me that, because I'll probably I at least try some shiesty trades in fantasy football with the people that I know will at least listen to the bait.
Yeah.
And I actually was trade blockaded for a while.
Oh, man, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because people just weren't listening to him. And I had some pretty good trades, whatever.
I mean, guys try to trade guys in the NFL with injuries. I mean, I don't think it's a classy move. Yeah. It's also probably
I can think about
business.
how
not everybody can be the home of the fair trade like me.
But you're the complete opposite. So let's not go down that.
Home of the fair trade.
See, Rocky probably tries a trade offer, but actually really, really thinks it's a good one.
He's a car salesman.
No, my approach is I just barrage you with trade offers,
and then he does I
wear you down.
No, he does the thing. He'll barrage you, and then he ghosts you when you start finally showing interest.
It's like
it's a technique.
He's reeling in the fishing.
That's what he does.
Fishing pole, and then he gives
thinks
it
nobody
some slack.
knows what he does. We know what you do.
It's a home of the fair trade. Okay. I make more trades than anybody in our league.
You know what's actually really funny?
That's true. With a bunch of dopes that just will trade with you.
My buddy, it was his first year in our fantasy league, and he made so many trades. He traded himself into a playoff spot. And then I forget what the last trade was, but he basically traded away Jamar Chase and somebody else for Adam Thielen and a tight end.
Nice.
And he named himself the World Trade Center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
World Trade Center. Yeah, that didn't
too soon.
Well. It didn't well.
Too soon.
That wasn't the funny part of the story.
I actually have a little bit different take on the Atlanta thing.
Let's hear it.
Oh yeah.
I think it appears to be classy, but I also think it was necessary. Rocky, think about it this way: in your industry, you're not going to send another store a bad manager, because the implications when they figure out it's a bad manager and you gave them to them. They're not going to trust you again when you have an employee that may need to transfer, right? So while they took advantage of the ability to say we're not going
to make it look good,
trade this guy, it wasn't like they are just coming out, clicking their heels and smelling roses. I mean, it's a business still And in reality, they may not want to trade him, right? They still may like the guy. They may have been hoping that maybe it wasn't as bad. So, they did a classy thing, but I also think they had to.
Yeah, so this could have just been like a really good situation for the Falcons, to where like they just look like
bad culture over there.
Exactly.
Well, Anton, we appreciate you joining us this week and every week that you come on.
Yeah, thank you, Anton.
Thanks, man.
See you next week.
Appreciate
Peace,
you guys,
buddy.
man.
All right, we got a new section this week. Oh my God! You just blew my mind. Wow. All right, so let's talk about this section.
Do you have any thoughts about that, Mark?
What is the name of the section, Rocky? You didn't say it.
Greatest sports what ifs.
He's the best at that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier in the show. That's a fantastic drop right there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mark, what do you think about that? You thought that drop was good?
That was hot.
Did you see the blending of the voices?
I have a semi-erection. It was very well.
Maybe we should change it now.
You got
very well blended.
You got a chubby, a large
you guys harmonized
I
very well.
hate your goatee, whatever that is that you have going on. That's really bothering me.
Wow, look at that, man. That was
That
was an attack.
Yeah, that really was an attack.
Personal.
He's right next to me.
He's just talking about his chubby.
I like your other goatee.
Yeah,
This is throwing me off, dude.
It was good. I know. It's because
You
I
just
had
felt like you needed some space.
I had the other one for so long,
My gosh.
and it was getting big and bushy.
For those that are wondering, that are watching and are still with us for this
It's just
episode,
new. It'll grow on you.
And at the beginning of this episode, yes, Mark was traded, but there were some factors and
He
some
didn't pass the
intangibles.
physical.
Yeah, he didn't pass the physical. We got him. We got him back halfway through the show. So welcome back, Mark. It's great to have
He
you.
couldn't get on
Thank you.
the fucking bike.
We had some technical difficulties getting here.
I mean,
tonight.
did anybody think that he would pass the physical?
Well, the headshot that we gave them for ESPN was full goatee.
Yeah.
When he arrived
They
in the
walked
building,
in. They said,
Yeah.
does this guy drive a truck?"
It was a hard. It was a hard pass.
Does he captain a pirate ship? Who is this guy?
The issue was he showed up with a
first name
some-
Mark.
That's actually what inspired this. I've been hooked on black sails. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, these guys have some fantastic facial
There's a
hair.
new
You know
pirate
what I
show coming out on
mean? Is there? I'm in. That's all you have to say was
What was-
pirates.
Showtime.
Yeah.
It's Tika Waititi. It's like they're pirates, but they have manners. It looks pretty funny.
They're
It's like a
pirates,
comedy.
but they say thank you.
Yeah, they're like nice.
when Mark showed up at the ESPN offices, he had a 64-ounce drink and
he's smoking a heater.
a bag of chalupas, and they were like, "Okay, we got some issues."
Fosters are only 24.2 ounces. First off,
There we go.
All right, so let me start this.
Man,
So
those
this is the-
numbers.
This is greatest sports what if. So it's what if something didn't happen that did, or maybe something
opposite.
did happen that didn't. So
Sure.
mine is in 2014, Donald Trump had a bid. He was trying to buy the Buffalo Bills.
That's right.
It was an unsuccessful bid.
Yeah.
And
Or was it successful?
well, was it successful or was it not? We'll let America decide. He did not get, there was an issue where, and, we've heard this before, there was some issue with whether or not his financials were correct. We've heard that a couple times. And so the bid did not go through. And shortly after, in fact, 2015 is when he announced that he was running for president of these United States.
was he bidding solo to buy the team, or was
No,
there?
I think he was part of a group,
Okay.
but again, there was some financial, they had some financial misgivings. So if he gets and buys the Buffalo Bills, does he ever become president of these United States?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Probably not.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happens? Who does become president? Is it Hillary Clinton?
Yeah,
No,
probably. Yeah, I think
no.
so. No, I
What
think
do you
Hillary
think?
would have
It
won.
would have been somebody else. It would have been whoever the Republicans had running
Yeah,
against
but
her.
who? I don't remember who they had running. Like, who would it have been?
Ted Cruz or the
Oh, my gosh, Ted Cruz.
Marco Rubio.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Marco.
What's his name? His son.
Well, you really
Bush
really
Nailed-
Bush's
son,
Nailed
yeah.
it.
banging that mic.
Sorry,
with your
I
nose,
was.
buddy.
This was before I could vote.
No,
literally.
Bush's son was running
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Jeb Bush.
Little
Jeb,
Bush.
old Jeb, Jeb,
Good old Jeb.
Jebediah.
Yeah, Shave Bush.
Jeb should have just bought the Bills as a fuck you to Trump.
I
for
know, right?
Really making
Yeah,
fun of
maybe
him
he
this
will
time, yeah.
actually. So,
Good
anyways,
idea.
I
They're
thought
doing
this
pretty
was.
good right now.
I didn't realize when he bid for this, because you said it was what 2014.
I think so.
Because I thought when you initially asked us off air, I was like, oh, maybe the Bills win a championship. I thought this was in the 90s, but it wasn't.
No, it was like recent.
Could you imagine the chaos that would happen in Buffalo though? Him
I was gonna say, do the Bills get
tweeting,
better or worse?
No, it'd be fantastic though. He'd be talking shit nonstop on social media.
Can you imagine the trades
Buffalo
that he would make?
Was Tyrod Taylor the quarterback?
Do you remember the controversy of Josh Allen coming into the league too?
Yes.
When they pulled up his old Vine videos before he was at,
this guy's
going to be great.
Yeah, I think that he would have endorsed him. He'd have been like, "He's my guy.
Yeah,
he's my guy.
Oh no way!
He's going to be huge."
Kyle Orton was the starting quarterback in 2014.
Nice.
Yeah, wow. I would
Buffalo,
not have. I would not have wanted to buy him. But okay, anyways, that's my sports what if. Who wants to go next?
You ready, Mark?
No. But where are you going with that though? What was the what if? Just what would he have become president?
You don't get the.
No. I know. I get the gist, but I thought
does he not become president?
What would happen?
Do we want to keep going on that one?
It's not that hard though.
Yeah, no,
not that hard.
I was curious what his what if though was.
You think
he was just not president? So it had nothing really to do with the Bills. Just kind of.
You think they draft Sammy Watkins?
President.
Yeah.
What's the question?
What
if?
You think Trump drafts Sammy Watkins in the first round?
Ooh.
Oh man, I don't know. That's a good question.
What? Yeah, that's a great question.
Well, I don't know. Well,
Trump would definitely. We all agree that Trump would be like a Jerry Jones
who
type
would be his
owner.
GM?
Right?
Yeah. Oh, you think he'd be the GM too?
I think he would.
I think he'd be the GM. He'd be like the coach. He'd be like everything.
The guy
Bills definitely have cheerleaders.
The guy micromanages his family for Christ's sake. You know.
Yeah.
Definitely be all over.
He could have saved the Browns some miscues because that was a draft where they traded the pick to them for them to get Sammy Watkins, and then they absolutely effed up that entire draft. They got Manziel. They got a corner that never even played a down for the Browns. Maybe he would have saved the Browns some heartache. So maybe I should have hoped that Trump.
Maybe you should have.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways.
I mean, what if Johnny
what if?
Manziel?
What if?
You know what? I'm going to save that.
What if the Browns owner didn't listen to a bum on the street and didn't draft Johnny Manziel?
Was that the bum we tried to give the liquor to?
It could have been. Actually, it could have been. Probably was, actually. All right. Who wants to go next?
Want me to throw one at you guys?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, I was thinking at first, what if Chip Kelly never coached the Eagles? But
you're a big Chip Kelly fan, aren't you?
I am the opposite. The worst. Ben Simmons.
Oh, look at this.
Chip Kelly.
Oh, Jesus,
really, man.
And then Jared Dudley. But that's besides the point.
I've never seen him get this riled up, but he got riled up.
Chip Kelly also fucking
fired
sucks.
up.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Well, I don't. Let me just do the real quick tangent on this because this isn't what I want to talk about.
I think he's got a Ben Simmons.
Yeah, you don't want to talk about
that's
this.
why.
Yeah, not at all.
He's got a full Ben Simmons face on his thigh. That's why he's so pissed.
I think he's getting a Ben Simmons right now.
No, we had Ryan Matthews as our starting running back. Then we DeMarco Murray put us back a few years. Jordan Matthews was our best. We bought Sam Bradford's enormous contract. It was
you
terrible.
did. That's right. I remember that.
It was we beat the Patriots that year. So cool.
Yeah.
In the regular season, cool.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, what if Wentz never got hurt the year we won our Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's a big one.
That's a good one.
I think I could tell you what. I don't think we win that Super Bowl.
I tell you what, though, he was on a tear, though. Prior,
he would have been the MVP.
Yeah, that's the first thing. So if Wentz didn't get hurt, he would have won MVP.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Oh, this doubles down on this opinion for me because Tom Brady wouldn't have won the MVP. MVP curse was still very real at that time. Patriots win the Super Bowl, and then the Eagles don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just me there.
Maybe.
Wow.
I still think that we're in a I still think at this point we would be in a rebuild because of because he probably would have got hurt later on.
Aren't you?
No, I'm saying we still would be. So I maybe worded that weird.
That's interesting. That's a good one. Or because he didn't get hurt, would he never have fallen off? Maybe would he be your quarterback still to this day and be pretty awesome?
If he wasn't injury prone or if he didn't get that injury at another time, because he was still that quarterback mentally, he probably would have dove for another end zone and probably honestly wanted to do it more because he would have got the touchdown, not hurt against the Rams. But I don't know. I think it happened. I don't want to say it happened for a reason because that sounds shitty, but I don't think we win that. Nick Foles just went on an absolute tear. Nick Foles wouldn't have gotten that contract with Jacksonville.
He did.
That wouldn't have happened either.
Yeah.
So where would the Jags be?
The contract in Chicago, or
and
the
then
contract anywhere.
Yeah, and then he was in quarterback competition with who else? Who was he with when he beat Nick Foles beat the Bucks. That's where Tom Brady was like, well, I thought it was 4th down. What was the quarterback for the Bears?
The Bears.
Nick Foles and who? No, I'm saying, like, was he not competing that year?
Oh, Trubisky was hurt.
Yeah.
Trubisky was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good one. I like that.
I mean, I got so many. There's so many.
There's so many.
I got to go in, though. What if Jamarcus Russell didn't get fat?
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
this guy, I mean...
I think fat came after the fact. Like if you read I just read recently like the downfall, like the timeline of Jamarcus Russell's downfall, it's pretty fucking hardcore. Like he gave up. He did not give a shit.
Well, yeah. What if he didn't get fat?
He made 0 attempts.
What if his IQ was
the guy had talent,
not single digits? Because I understand he wasn't like a real
I'm saying he could have played off the talent for a few years.
You said he was a grocery mart guy? Is that what you call him? Paper or plastic?
Yeah, I heard he wasn't like a super smart guy.
I seen him in Disney Springs.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
He looked
Nice
all
guy?
right. He looked good.
Nice guy?
Looked good.
I do know it was him.
He lost weight. I mean, because I know what he looks like.
You remember he came back and he was
It's been a while.
working out, trying to make it back in the league, and he got like really in shape again.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no, he was.
What if
working out.
Terrell Pryor's is still? Oh, that's another one.
Terrell probably went around. What if T.O. gets signed by a team? We could do this all day.
Still
yeah.
to this
There's
day.
so many.
Yeah.
There's a ton.
Why
What
you-
if Ben Simmons stayed in
Fuck Ben
Philadelphia?
Simmons. Sorry.
Yeah.
All you have to do with that tattoo, just throw a big ass beard on it now.
A
and
tattoo.
It's fine. It looks
What,
like
you got a
art.
Ben Simmons
Yeah,
tattoo?
No,
Yeah,
I would
side.
never. I would never.
It could be.
That's
James
why he's so
Harden.
angry.
It could be James Harden. Just
Butt
throw a
cheek?
tattoo on it.
All right, I got one.
If
What
the Sixers win a championship this year, I will get a Sixers tattoo, and we can all decide on what it is.
Wait. Can we pick?
Well, I mean, that's not.
Wait, can we
I mean, you
pick-
could just get one anyway.
No.
Can we pick what Sixers tattoo you get?
That's what he just said.
Yes, Rocky.
Okay.
You can pick.
We can pick.
Yeah,
I pick
All right.
placement. I pick size. You pick what it is.
that
This
sounds
is
a little
fantastic.
sensual.
So now I'm rooting for
Well, no,
the
because
Sixers.
this is real. Because this, I will do it.
Yeah,
I will.
now-
I will
now I'm
actually do it.
Now I'm rooting for the Sixers.
Well,
I think I am too.
Well, they're gonna probably play the Cavs pretty early on. So
Cavs are hurt, man.
I think it should be a collage of like Jaleel Okafor. It should be Markel
Hey.
Fultz.
I didn't
It should be like the
Ben
4
Simmons
years where they had the
is
number
showing
1
up
pick
on
and they
that
just
tattoo.
all shit the bed
Ben Simmons is showing up on that tattoo. Is all I'm saying.
without a doubt. I can't wait. Oh my god! I hope they win.
trust the process.
I pick placement.
Oh, I'm trusting the process
Trust
on
the
this one.
process. Yeah.
You're getting a
All right.
tattoo.
Mark, what do you got for this?
But like you said, man, there's so many. What if Brian Kelly didn't go grinding up on a 4-star wide receiver recruit in LSU? You know,
What if
maybe
Urban Myers didn't
go
to a
didn't
the
grab
Jags
us in a Wisconsin bar?
The Jags were still stuck. I'm sorry.
What if Michael Vick was, more of a cat guy, and less of a dog
That's a good
guy?
way to put it.
Yeah,
That's
what if
Yeah.
what if he
Great way to
didn't
put
get in all that trouble? I mean, it was
Mark,
at
can
the,
you state your full name, please?
it was at the height of his career. The guy is probably arguably the most athletic quarterback to ever play the game, and I don't know. I liked what he did in Atlanta. He went to Philly. He was okay.
What part?
What part did you like that he did in Atlanta?
I liked how he played. I mean, Atlanta was absolute garbage until he came in and he kind of turned that team around. Now, I'm not saying that they were, contenders.
No, they
every
were
single
though. But
year.
right before that happened, they were in the NFC Championship.
And he had so much talent. He was so athletic. I just think that he could have kept progressing because he was a pretty accurate passer. He had an arm like no other, and the guy could run like a goddamn deer.
Like a gazelle.
Like you're.
I'm going to make an unpopular statement here.
Well, just make it and stop qualifying.
that you don't think that he should have gotten
no,
suspended for that
no.
because you hate dogs.
I just compare David Carr's stats with his stats.
And what about him?
They're the same.
David Carr.
Yeah, but David Carr didn't rush for 1,000 yards.
There is zero chance David Carr was as mobile as Michael Vick.
No, but look at every other stat.
It doesn't matter.
And David Carr did it behind a line that couldn't keep out kindergarten kids.
Well, I'm not going to argue and try to say David Carr was terrible,
he wasn't terrible.
but the comparison is a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy
comparison
was
isn't a
in.
joke.
He
That
was
should be
consistently
stricken
in
from
the
the
play.
record.
You're just talking numbers, though.
Yeah. So what are you saying?
What else
with
did we
those-
talk about?
Wait, no, but
Well, how he affects the game because
What he
he's so
brought to the team.
dynamic running the ball.
what are you saying with those numbers?
That's ridiculous. The guy rushes for 1,000 or close to 1,000 yards every year, and you're just poo-pooing it.
And you compare him to a statue.
And he went to an NFC an NFC championship game.
Shame on you.
Are you saying they're the same?
David Carr never made the playoffs.
What I'm saying is that
who were Michael Vick's best wide receivers in that time? Do you remember?
Listen.
Do you remember?
He's a dog guy.
Listen.
Do you remember? His title was Algie Crumpler.
I do like dogs.
Warwick Dunn. Warwick Dunn in his late 20s was his running back.
Sounds good to me.
It wasn't good. He didn't have anybody around him.
Well, who did David Carr have?
Nobody. And he didn't go to the playoffs.
All right. So you made my point.
No, I didn't.
Atlanta had more than the Texans did.
Who'd they have?
Atlanta had more. Listen,
name somebody.
Anybody you name is more than.
But you can't name anybody though.
Anybody you name is better than what.
I would love for you to name anybody.
I'm thinking there were actually
right.
There were he had two huge wide receivers when he was in Atlanta, and I am not thinking of the
huge.
names.
You mean like tall?
No, like really good wide receivers.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he had Jenkins.
Yeah,
I don't even remember his first name. But you're saying
Jenkins came from the Ohio State. Right there. Boom.
What was his career besides when he played with Michael Vick?
Just proved my point.
He didn't.
Jenkins was a national
blasphemous.
championship quality receiver in college.
What happened? Where does his career go after Vic left?
He went to the NFC Championship. You just said.
Where'd he go after?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, he had Roddy White. Roddy White.
There you go.
For how long? Like his rookie year?
No.
And he had the other guy too. The other good receiver.
You winking at me.
Didn't Joe Horn go to Atlanta at one point too?
No, there was another good receiver.
Oh, no, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
No, I hate scouring the internet for this shit.
I'm just going to say this. We make a bigger deal out of Vic than what he was.
That's a joke.
That is
all right. That's my take.
That's an awful.
It's a terrible take.
Shit.
It's my take.
Put that shit up.
We already
It's
know.
my take.
So we were talking about Trubisky a second ago, and it reminded me, hey, we haven't done Trubisky track for this week.
Oh.
Is there an update?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. Let's hear
Trubisky
it.
track, week 3, the latest news on Mitchell Trubisky.
We should have a drop for that.
Maybe.
Well, whip it up, guy.
Well, no, I need his voice for that.
All right, sure. We'll do that. We'll do that in post. We'll figure it out.
We need Mark actually to with tears talking about.
It should be like
Trubisky.
1970s or 80s like sitcom style.
All right, we can do this
too.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about
so
this.
Mitchell Trubisky.
So it is March as we record. It is March. My Apple Watch is dead. March
7th.
8th, yeah.
And March 7th is when this news came out that Mitchell Trubisky may in for a huge payday this offseason. Yeah. It goes with our scheme of wanting Trubisky to get the bag. It is a foregone conclusion that the quarterback won't stay in Buffalo for another year. He is talented enough to be a starter in the NFL, and team executives recognize that fact during the scouting combine.
Oh, I would love if he outperformed Justin Fields this year. That's like the thing I'm rooting for the most.
So where is he going?
I read a contradictory report that said that so they were doing best value or underrated, overrated value at each position.
Ooh,
and,
where'd you read this?
This was on
It's
ESPN.
in his head.
Marksblog.com.
Oh, yes.
Mark's
On
brain.
ESPN, and overrated was Mitch Trubisky, and they said, they want to blame his lack of ability on Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
And they're like, but here's the stats on Mitch Trubisky, and they like broke it down. And
Well, I mean, he still played for Matt Nagy, so
That was on marksthoughts.com. Hey,
yeah. My mom and dad said .com.
Well,
He's still got this stupid look about him. I don't even know.
Well,
how
so do
you're,
you,
Like,
buddy.
I'm sure the website
And now
also
you have a
said-
bad goatee.
No, I changed my stupid look.
let me ask you a question.
At least I can adapt.
With Rodgers staying and with Seattle trading Wilson,
Yeah.
Seattle gets the number 9 pick now.
Yeah, they
from
do.
Denver.
Malik Willis.
They take Malik Willis,
Yeah.
number 9,
Knew you were going there.
right? So
Predictable.
it starts the quarterback avalanche, right?
Yeah.
So-
or the floodgates.
Floodgates,
or the
right?
dominoes.
Dominoes.
You don't think Carolina takes a quarterback at 6?
Maybe.
Not
Maybe they
Malik
do.
Willis.
Hey, there are at least 5 teams interested in giving Mitchell Trubisky at least a $10 million.
Yeah, I
One
heard the
is
Giants
Washington.
Washington, the Giants apparently want to bring him in to compete with Daniel Jones.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
I hope they bring him
The Browns, I think, want to bring him in as a backup, but I don't think he wants to come. He wants to know he's going to truly compete.
Oh, the Browns?
Trubisky wants to know that he's
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I would too if I was him.
He's not a bad guy to bring in to compete.
in. What does that tell you? That if he doesn't want to go to Cleveland because he wants to know that he wants a true competition when Baker Mayfield sucks. How much confidence does he have in himself?
That's not what he's saying. You retard.
That's exactly what he's saying. He's saying I want to know that I'm going to compete, and you're just not going to give it to Mayfield. Mayfield sucks, which means he knows that he's not going to compete because he sucks even more than Mayfield.
I think he's saying that Cleveland's dysfunctional.
Mark, you're getting a Ben Simmons face over there.
Do the math.
Mark,
Trubisky is awful.
Do you have a Trubisky tattoo on your thigh, Mark?
Here's my hot take. Whatever team Trubisky ends up signing with, take their wide receiver. I don't give a shit if it is Cleveland. Take their wide receiver one.
You said this last week.
Very, I am. Very, very high in the draft because they're going to get a ton of goddamn targets.
So this is like this sounds like a
podcast.
Well, we don't even know if he's going to start, so we can't bet.
Yeah, we can't bet yet.
Although there is only one quarterback in the last 30 years or whatever that has not thrown a pick six in their career, and it is Mitch Trubisky.
There you go. So
silver lining, huh?
Another positive.
Yeah.
Another positive. So
it's because he's too busy fumbling the football.
I'm going to call it. I think he's starting in the NFL this year.
I think it's possible.
I think he's starting for Washington.
You're the king of bad calls, so
that's
wouldn't expect any less.
That's fair. That's fair. But I mean, you held a razor to your face and made that decision. So
did you do that? You did that, right? You did that.
I did this.
Yeah, let me ask you something. Crazy.
Black sales.
Crazy. Have you seen that before?
I just told you. Yeah, I did.
Is it from Black Sales?
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey. No, it's not. But
Mark, I apologize. He led me to that.
Yeah,
it's all right. Tara's already giving me shit about it. Don't worry. It'll work.
Oh, damn.
Oh, so consensus here, huh?
Now I feel bad. Hey, but you did have some good news. Your daughter won a bike and won the.
Yeah. Super proud of her.
That's pretty awesome.
She, out of the entire fifth grade, all of fifth grade in her school, she wrote an essay for DARE.
Pretty awesome.
And it was chosen as the overall winner. So they gave her a freaking bike.
Everyone hates the kid that gets the bike.
So
you're in the cafeteria and then you see one kid walk up and get the bike that she wrote an essay for.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that, and this might be a sensitive subject if she watches this, but she tends not to watch the show anymore. But because of that, she actually she was bullied today in the cafeteria.
Nice job, Zach.
That's not funny.
2022 and we're still getting bullied. Is that crazy?
Well, in the cafeteria, and holy shit, her best friend Kaylee's in 7th grade, Gianna's in 5th grade. And Kaylee got in trouble today for supposedly saying
gold.
Yeah, well, apparently saying like a bad word. And we were all like, all right, well, we have to, help Kaylee get through this or whatever. Well, come to find out, she was coming to Gianna's aid because she heard these kids
she was
calling Gianna like awful names.
Yeah.
That's so shitty.
I'm like,
how could you do that?
Just tell the kids you wouldn't win all the time if they fucking tried. Like, tell them to up their game. It's not your problem.
My daughter's got a honor roll, both of them.
Really?
Oh, nice. Congrats, man.
Like that?
Yeah.
That's good.
What else? You want?
Teach your girls to throat punch. That's what I did.
No, you don't do that.
I did. I get what
you're saying.
It's a well placed.
It's not. Punch. I mean, listen, I've thought that same thought, but
I taught.
Then then the retaliation is like getting jumped by 4 girls too. So
no,
maybe not throw it.
I mean, you move them out of the school if you have to.
I mean, she might get jumped before you can move her out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is not the 70s where you get a fair fight anymore.
I don't know. I think you throat punch somebody pretty good. There's gonna be people thinking twice about.
I don't know. I think
you.
her friends would be like, oh, let's go beat her ass in the bathroom.
Well, if it's girls, probably not, because if you see a girl throat punch somebody,
you're moving away.
If it's like, I don't know, if somebody like one of my friends,
schools you guys went to, but
somebody throat punch, like if I throat punch somebody, there's probably going to be a fight, like a group fight. But I don't know. I don't know. Happy International Women's Day, by the way.
I know.
It's perfect conversation. I've seen a lot of girl fights.
Yeah.
Girl jumps.
I don't have a daughter. I'm proud to say that.
Yeah.
Right.
You're proud? Oh, well, I guess you can.
I am. That makes sense. I am young.
Yeah. Anyways, well.
Oh wait, no, let me backpedal there. I'm not proud to not have a daughter because it's a daughter, but I'm proud.
No. I think
I'm proud to not have a daughter because I don't want children at such a young age.
I think it was good.
Let's clip that.
I would like to say that.
You already brought the mood down on National Women's Day.
Yeah,
I think you said what you meant, and you just got to stick
Happy
with
National
that.
Women's Day. You guys do a lot.
What I heard is Zach doesn't like women. That's
You're
what
proud that you don't have a daughter.
What I heard is this is Sparta, and if it doesn't come out a boy, it's getting thrown off a cliff.
I might do the editor's veto on that one. I don't think I'm clipping that one. Sorry, I'm going to use it for the year there.
All right. Well, Phil, tell them how to find us. And
we done, huh?
I think we're done, right?
Hey, well, guys, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Thank you for joining us. Please comment more. We're gonna start dropping a phone number in there for you guys to leave some
please
voice messages, and maybe we play them on air.
Trash me, I can take it.
Rest in peace, Biggie. Peace.
Oh, I like that.
That was good.